Hey everyone, this is Faith. Um, Chanel emailed me earlier, and I'd like to read it out to everybody. Cookie's dead, but everything still needs to happen. Even though it hurts. Lydia, I want you to know I am proud of you for all you have stood for through the Bible changing and the Mandela Effect experience. Your heart beats with a passion for truth. Your video showing interaction by email with EYA was a surprise, but it shows your godly determination that few have. I get accused of directing you to the truth, but the truth is I have always sat back and watched you learn to fly on your own. I want you to make your own choices and hope you choose what Jesus would want after listening to him. The reality is you have not always done that, which you openly admit. Despite people trying, I cannot be blamed for those times, as you know. But just as true is that I can also not take any credit when you so often have chosen what would make Jesus happy. That you can take full credit for on your own. I am sure Jesus smiles and is so proud of you in those moments. He knows your full story and heart like nobody else can. Without cutting EYA off from her place in this community, what Brant and I find to be disappointing in a way we are stick to our stomach by is her self-focus. That, and lacking a spirit of inclusion for all those who are affected by the Bible changes and who love Jesus. Kat has more desire to reach the asleep and wake them up than she does to lift up her own. Why? Because there is more perceived glory in saving people than there is compared to simply loving people. She wants to be known for saving people more than she wants to be known for loving people. But Jesus saves people. He asked us to love people. We are part of his salvation plan, but cannot take any credit for saving anyone, no matter what we do that might lead the lost back to Jesus. It is more fruitful to have an intention of what Jesus specifically asked of us that we can achieve. That is love. We can love in our message of truth to the asleep as we love one another while speaking it. We must be to others how we would not only want them to be to us, but also how we would want Jesus to be towards us. EYA is known for being trigger happy to block people. Block their accounts definitely, but also just block conversation with condescending and dismissive avoidant comments as she did in your email thread. Saying you need help and she will pray for you as she did in her first reply is both condescending and dismissive in a few words. It is also avoiding the truth of which you speak of, which is the fact that EYA is tied up in a heavy experience of lies. EYA has a pattern, blocking people from this community, blocking people she has even had on her live streams, blocking you, blocking me, blocking Brant, blocking many others. Is that how she wants Jesus to be towards her? I can see how Jesus is letting the enemy block EYA to many things. Jesus has told me that himself. He has allowed her to lose many channels. She has lost respect, lost people's interest, lost job opportunities, lost success with her books, lost a lot. Let it be known that you cannot work against God's chosen people, even a few, and have the support of God at the same time. If the sea parts in front of you when you were against God's chosen people, it is only because the walls of the sea will fall on you. There is a lot of action from EYA, but only declining results. She has truth, but not a heart for all of God's chosen people who stand with her in this truth of the Bible changing. That is the 144,000 she does not have a heart for. You, Lydia, do not deserve to be blocked to EYA. Never let the words or actions of someone who is self-focused, condescending, and dismissive avoidant determine your true worth. Jesus woke you up. You are part of this. We all are. His choice is of far greater value than someone's opinion formed by their bad habits. The story of the Mandela effect and Bible changing in last days would not be much of a story with perfect people. Not a lot of lessons would be learned from that scenario. Jesus has let the community get messy and fall short. It is up to all of us that is the beginning, middle, and the end of the story. Brant and I would like a different ending, but that will be up to the community. As the two witnesses, we stand watching on. People have become disinterested. The saints have been worn down in a sense. Not worn down to nothing, because if something big happened, everyone would rise again. But the illusion is everyone is worn down. The illusion is the enemy has made ground wearing us all down. There is a real lack of motivation. Channels are publishing less videos. There is less conversation, less happening to be reported on. Less Mandela effects, because, as Brand and I have been saying, Jesus is the one making changes outside the Bible for a specific and well-purposed reason. Maybe Jesus loses interest in people who will continue to be told to work together or don't. Maybe he loses interest on purpose to teach us a lesson. If Jesus is not standing in the community in his brightest light, our spirits will not be attached to it. His bright light is not here, and it is choices being made by the community members that is responsible for that. Brant and I desire for the community to work together and invite Jesus back to help us all in a loving environment. For unity to be the big thing that fires the enthusiasm back up. Enough of the judgment, lack of empathy, self-promotion, and blocking. EYA has blocked the two witnesses. That is how far she has gone with blocking people. That could be seen as going the full distance, while being an example to others when the truth is revealed about us. The truth about Brant and Chanel. Truths that will overshadow her long-standing, ill-formed opinions and assumptions over us that others also have. Kat will have to ask herself how she could have done that and so easily missed what was right in front of her that Christians are waiting on. Those answers are glaringly obvious. 1. Lack of empathy to all who are awake. 2. Lack of empathy to the pain of those crying in pain. 3. Lack of interest in the truth in the details of the pain. The truth is in the details of our story. It is also in that live stream of lies that that Jane spoke that EYA hosted. Jesus doesn't care how long it has been since Kat spoke to Jane. Neither do we. Lies stand forever until corrected. The two witnesses stand for truth and unity, inclusion of all who stand for the truth. No judgment of one another because Jesus already judged and has chosen each person to see the Bible changing. That's few, a chosen few. Thank you for hearing our cries of pain and looking at the details of the full story, Lydia. Jesus convicted your heart to so much truth. Others may be annoyed by your relentless pursuit of truth for us, but that annoyance will one day turn into goodly admiration for your open eyes, your open heart, and passion to do what is right, even when nobody is listening. They will have no choice but to look at themselves in their own hearts at that time. Jesus confounds the perceived wise in many ways. The moral of that is being confounded in unexpected ways. You, Lydia, are their unexpected confounding. You are their roll their eyes. She is too immature, can't speak well enough, isn't as wise as us confounding to come. Brant and I have our tickets for front row seats to that moment. If EYA cannot work out now how much she is losing by blocking some of God's chosen people, she certainly will learn it in that moment. Thank you for loving and helping the two witnesses, Lydia. The two witnesses are just ordinary people, but with an extraordinary testimony. A heart to help us is something you will be known for, and we appreciate it. There are a few other special people like you who stand with us because Jesus convicted them. We will never forget any of you. As Jesus said to me the other night, on the last line of a letter being written about two of those few special people, they both know you are the two witnesses. 4,901 witness. Thank you for also knowing, Lydia, because you cared enough to ask Jesus and wait for his confirmations on us. Much love, Chanel.